Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for joining me in this channel, which I named Step Into the Light. Step Into the Light because basically it talks about my journey or my calling to Islam. And whenever people find out that I'm a convert, the first question they ask is, why? Why did you convert? It's not actually an easy decision. It is not. Being born in a Catholic family, wherein, I couldn't say that my family is a religious fanatic, but I got used to going to church every Sunday, doing the novenas, First Fridays, and studying in a Catholic school really molded the Catholicism in me. And I was always active in church activities. I'm frequently reader on masses. So it was not an easy decision for me, because having that strong Catholicism in me is really hard to break. But I don't have anything against Catholicism. I respect them. That's still the religion of my family, and I do respect it. But there is this question within me that I couldn't find an answer. I'm not saying that being a Catholic made me a bad person or what, but because I've had a lot of experience in my life as well. I've had a whirlwind of experience before, and I have been thankful. And I felt blessed as well, because I was able to cope up and get through it. But there is this question within me that I couldn't find the answer. And I tried to venture, or I tried to do research. I tried to get into other religions, not officially join them, but like to study them. I mean, what do they believe in? And how do they perform, and how do what is in their religion? What do they follow? And of all the religions that I have like researched or tried, Islam has been like the longest, and it has been the religion that I feared most. Feared not in a sense that I was afraid of it. I was like afraid that they might kill me, or they might. No, I was. It was something that I feared that I might not be able to hold on to. For 2 years of following and researching and listening to stories about Islam, and even following the fasting and what they believe in. When people ask me, like, why don't you want to convert? You're already fasting, you're already following, you're believing, you're trying to understand the meaning. Why don't you want to convert? And my answer would always be, I don't feel I'm worthy. Like, I don't see myself worthy to be in it. Well, not that I don't like it, but I felt like it's a higher level of responsibility that you have to get into. I mean, it's not like something that okay, I want to get into this. I want to try it. And then and if I don't like it, I'll just turn my back on it, and I'm just going to get out of it. It's different. I felt different, and the time came when there was someone who invited me. It was Ramadan at that time, and I was observing fasting, and even if I wasn't officially an Islam or a Muslim, but I was fasting, and I was even like saying to my friends like it would do you good, something like that. And so they were telling me that, why don't you convert? Still, I said, I'm not worthy. And when someone invited me and told me that, like my friends, when they go to the mosque, and they told me, hey, I mean, you're not doing anything. Why don't we pick you up and you go with us, and you try to, and you go to the mosque and you observe. You just observe. You listen if you want to. And I said to myself, why not? I mean, why not? I mean, I'm not doing anything, and nobody invited me, so why not? And so I did. And when I was there, I was really ashamed to go inside, because I said, like, I mean, I'm not an Islam. I mean, I'm ashamed. I don't even have my veil or my hijab. And then suddenly there was this child who was playing, and he was there on the door, and he was playing, and suddenly the mother came and asked me to come in, told me come in. And it was an invitation that I felt I couldn't resist. So I did. I went in. And I watched. I was watching. And I said to myself, like, wow. I see the women. It was so quiet. It was so quiet. And I just see those women praying, standing, bowing their heads and prostrating. For how many times? And I said, like, wow, that's difficult. I mean, how could they do that? How many times a day? It's like, for me, it was like a response. And the first question that came to my mind was, would you be able to do that? Would you be able to hold on to that? So when my friends finished praying, and then they asked me, how does it feel? And I told them, it's difficult. It's difficult, and I don't think I can hold on to it. And they told me, it's a process. It's not something that you just, I'll get into it. They told me, it's a process that you have to learn slowly. And you have to study, what is it all about? So it gave me the curiosity. That gave me the curiosity. And then the next day, I felt the urge to go back and see more of it. Like see what's happening. What is happening there? Because it was a different feeling. So I went. And then I just sat there outside, and I just listened to the imam, and I watched these people praying, and I said to myself, like, I have never seen people so dedicated to their prayers. And there was one time when they didn't invite me, but I felt like someone was calling me. Someone was inviting me. And I said to myself, I'll go. And when I went there, and when I arrived, like the whole masjid was full. From the entry, I had to like squeeze in and find my way to that place where I sit down. And all these people were like saying to myself, like, wow, like what's happening? And I asked the man, and I said, like, why are there so many people? And he said, like, it's the night of Laylatul Qadr. And I didn't understand what he said. I didn't know the meaning of that. But that night, when I watched those people praying, and it came back to me, all the things that I said, like all the things that when it was like a flashback to me. I remembered how my life was, how I wasted all those times when I was listening to Imam talking and like talking about how to give your love to your fellow men, to be kind. I mean, and to value your life, for that's Allah's gift. And to work for your faith, to increase or to build your faith, because life is not here on earth, but it's on the life after. And here on earth it's like a testing place. And how you treat how you treat others is how you define yourself. And it was like a flashback. It was a flashback to me on how I lived my life. And I realized how I wasted my life. And I cannot get it back. I couldn't bring it back. And when I say to myself, like, I'm not worthy, and I look at all these people, and I look at all those people praying, how solemnly they ask for Allah's blessings, and I see and I realized how blessed I am, that God has always been there for me. And I say to myself, I am not worthy. How selfish. How selfish was I? I mean, what more proof should I ask for me to realize how Allah sees me so special? But it was like an arrow that struck me right through my heart and made me feel how selfish I was. So from that time on, I became curious, and I said to myself, like, I wanted to know more about this. I wanted to to get myself to know more about what is Islam. So I started to watch videos and to read ayats translated into English. And then it finally made me realize that this is what I was looking for. This what was written in the Al-Quran was the answer to those questions that was stuck there on my mind. What was the, like, it filled in the empty space in my heart. And it started to make me feel as a whole. And being with those people that had strong faith in Islam made me see the beauty or the power of their faith in their life. The first thing that I have learned is sabar. Sabar. Because I was a person who's like so compulsive. I get irritated easily. And Islam taught me sabar. Like, it takes time. And upon the time of learning and realizing and accepting and finally it gave me this certainty that this is what I was looking for. These answers to question to my life. What is the essence of my existence here on earth? Islam answered that for me. I saw the answer in the way I lived in the way. For me, Islam is not just a religion. It's a way of life. It's how you live your life. And as I learn further, so the first question I had was, should I wear the hijab immediately? Well, it's not that I have anything against it, but maybe for me it was like it's probably like a big adjustment to myself. I am the person who always goes out, hangs out, and for me, if I'm gonna embrace this, well, I have to live by it. I have to be responsible. And everyone tells me like, no, you don't have to. It's a process. It has to be within you. It has to come within you. So I said and then after that night, I started to dream of things that are probably unusual. I started to dream of a very bright light that comes to me, and I was like entering that light. And when I asked my friend about it, they gave me answers that is it this? Is it this? And they read me verses on the Al-Quran, and I said yes. And nobody really forced me to like, or like really encouraged me so much. But I felt that maybe from the time, you know, from the life that I had, you know, being, you know, having selfishness and greed of these earthly things, and just thinking of myself and how to build my life, how to develop my life, or to be successful in this world. I realized that there's so much more that we have to look into than all these earthly things or earthly matters, or all this greed that we have within ourselves. So I realized that it's time for me to give back. Of all the things that I have been receiving in my life existence, maybe it's time for me to give back. And this is the right time. And this is where I should be. I wasn't sorry. I mean, I don't regret all the trials that came to my life, because where it led me is where I felt complete. So I finally decided to accept, to embrace Islam. And that was the time also that I say to myself, like, this time I'll give back. Even in small ways, I'll do my part in this world. So, working as a volunteer in the ASN gives me the opportunity to help people, to give back to those who are in need. And I know that it's gonna take a long time for me to fully understand and to memorize everything that is written in the Al-Quran. So I said to myself, like, I would want to make it my mission to bring people closer to Allah. That's why in the foundation, I give Al-Quran to people, for them to remember, and for them to see that if I, who was not born as an Islam, values this religion as something of the highest power, you know, and how it made my life change 360 degrees. I envy those who were born Islam, because from childhood they were guided they were taught to how to live their life in the ways of Islam. And that is something that they have to be thankful for. I'm not saying that I lived my life in a wrong manner or in a wrong way, but the guidance that they have following the ways of Allah is something that they have to treasure and to give value for. And so I wanted to share that to them, share that to people. So I give them Al-Quran so that at least they would remember how Allah has always been there for them. And if it made my life complete, how much more for them? I am not a perfect person, and I am still new in Islam. And I know that there are still a lot of things for me to learn. And there will be a lot of trials that will come to test my faith. But the only thing that I really appreciate in my nearly 2 years in Islam is that I was able to take out anger in my heart and to finally accept that whatever happens to our life is within Allah's plan. And that we just have to put our faith in the hands of Allah, and He will make everything okay. I might not fully understand the real or the deeper meaning of Islam, but one thing I know for now: sabar, ikhlas, tawakkal, that would give happiness to our life. And I hope this is not the end of my journey. As I go further, inshallah, Allah will be my guide. Thank you so much, and I hope you will still be a part of this long journey that I have in Islam. Thank you so much for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have faith, believe, and Allah will make it